In this video, we're covering the use of aftermarket tools, the use of other tools, and how to really do the job correctly so it's more efficient for your workshop and you're going to be getting added value for money. One of them that we start off with that's really common is simply, I've tried to reset a DPF, it won't work. Now, with an aftermarket tool, quite often you'll go into it and it'll just say failed, failed, failed. And there's not really a decent description in there that says why it failed. And actually a lot of the time with DPFs, half the thing is it's not the DPF, it's usually an air leak, it's usually this or that and the other. The second biggest failure we get is things like NOx sensors. For example, if you fit one to a Mercedes, you automatically have to do a software update, maybe in one, maybe in two modules. So you fit it, you clear the code, you press adaption. Most aftermarket tools would do adaptions, and the adaption will come up failed, or you'll send it back out to the customer's got it 3 weeks. The adaption value then changes, and guess what? It's got a failure, and you end up fitting another NOx sensor because you think that NOx sensor's failed. And actually it isn't, it's because the ECU needs to be programmed with a different set of adaptions altogether that the aftermarket tool can't give you. Another interesting one, which to be honest, I can't believe this happens still these days, is that people get a co-parts crash damaged car and they plug in their aftermarket tool to clear the codes out of the airbag module. That's not going to happen these days because the codes are hard stored anyway. And what you actually have to do these days is to remove the airbag module and replace it and program it fresh with a code. You need an OE tool to program an airbag module these days if you're fitting a new one to it, if you can't erase the crash data. And a lot of time people go in, why isn't this crash data cleaning out? Because you can't do it. So again, the tool's not telling you why at that point. So you might, on the lambda sensor, have P0171. On an OEM tool, you'll have P70071-131 or something like that, which will give you a more elaborate version of the code, which will give you an in-depth reading of the data. And it'll also give you many times how much the count is, how many times that's reoccurred within the ECU. And some of them actually give you a timeline. So it gives you a mileage versus a fault occurrence on there. So it's far more sophisticated in a full diagnostic platform. I had a van in the other day and it was a DPF sensor fault. So it was a pressure sensor, differential pressure sensor. It actually came up with a differential pressure fault and it was 0.5 volts. Blah, 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 problem with the voltage basically going in there. And the aftermarket tool just gave me a code. I went in with the OE tool and it actually said to me straight away, it said, check pin number so-and-so. So funnily enough, I checked pin number so-and-so and I had a look and the pin was pushed back in the plug and it had a fault in the plug. So instead of throwing a sensor on at that point, it actually told me, you need to look at this straight away because we feel that this could be the issue before you even get going with anything else. So it saves you a lot of time, it saves you a lot of money, and it saves you a lot of effort altogether. In conclusion, is your aftermarket tool costing more than you think it is? Obviously, the thing here is that it covers multiple brands, but saying that, what are you sacrificing by doing that? Are you actually spending more time and effort trying to fix things than if you had actually specialized a little bit more and had an OE tool in to fix that vehicle? With a scan tool, you're going to get a very limited code overview. You're also going to get some very limited live data. They'll pull blocks of live data out, but the live data a lot of time is completely bloody irrelevant. And I'll see live data where it's reading minuses on things and you're thinking, how is this even possible? It's the fact they've just reverse engineered and they've thrown it into there. The guiding functionality isn't there, so it won't take you to a page that says, hey, this is the sensor and this is the wiring diagram for this sensor and maybe you should check that out. There's a huge difference in the speed of using an OEM tool against using an aftermarket tool. So it's well worth a thought about how you're going to move forward in your future. We're here to prevent the slow death of the aftermarket. If you're really interested in this, we've got lots and lots of videos on our YouTube channel that go through lots of different types of product and lots of different types of OEM and have full descriptions of where things are going and what the future looks like. If you want to find out more, please go to maverickdiagnostics.com.